Hi, welcome to my channel Rent Country Sticks, and welcome to the first of a series of videos we're hoping to do on the stick making. And this one is how to paint a dog or something else on a ram's horn crook, market stick, or any other stick. So stick with us and we'll show you what we do. So you're going to need some paints, obviously. I use this acrylic. It's for model makers. It's tough stuff, works very well. You want quite a good selection of colours. You want some thinners, cleaning your brushes, thinning your paint down, a little palette, and some nice brushes. I like to use these very fine ones. And that says Master Stroke Craft, and it's a number 10-0. You can get other brushes. Have a look on eBay, you'll probably get some details. Obviously you're going to need some tissue for cleaning your brushes, and the other thing you're going to need is a sticky painting and an image that you're going to paint on. Now that's very likely penciled in, and the easy way to do that, if you're not an artist, and I'm not an artist, I'm possibly a craftsman, but I'm not an artist, find yourself a nice picture of a border collie or something. You want a bit of carbon paper, position that on the actual handle, and then you've got your outline. And the thing to do then is start filling in. You want really a good picture of the dog, full size, so you get plenty of detail, and then try and make it look realistic. And it's going to be down to a lot of practice, a lot of wiping off and a lot of restarting, but one day you'll get there and they'll be pretty good. Now in that palette I have my thinners, and I like to have about 3 little receptacles, let's call them. And that thins me paint out. I can clean my brushes, put my paint in the middle and mix if I need to mix. So that's the first thing I do. One thing I did omit is you want some magnifying glasses, or at least I do. These are very old, probably from the 50s. I've had them for absolute years. I've had some plastic ones and they've not survived, but these things, well, they look ropey, but they work very well for me with my glasses on. So that's something else you might want if your eyesight's a bit poor. What we're going to do now is start filling in, refer to the picture we've got behind us, and try and make this look something like a real dog. To thin it out a little bit. Now we're going to start filling in now. So with things like this, the main thing is that to make it try and look real, you want highlights. It's not all black. It looks black, but you've got a bit of shading in it. If you look at a picture, it almost looks silver. Pick those bits out, try and add them in, and as I say, you start to sort of form the dog a little bit. And you might have to overpaint what you've already done, because if you have these acrylics on the thinner side so they go on well, they can be a bit translucent with the horn. But at the moment we're not too worried. All we want to do really is block in. So just here we've got where the front leg is, and you want to try and get that a bit blacker there, and as the muscle goes up I'm going to put a bit of a highlight in there just to try and pick it out. The more of these you do, you will learn what you need to do and where you need to do it. keep checking your the main picture as a reference. Always keep working back to that. They don't last very long, these brushes, especially using this acrylic. Well, not the way I use them, they get worn out quite quickly. Right, so that's the start. There's still a long way to go. I'll just put this up for you. Just say we're just blocking in at the moment. We could put the white in now. I'm going to go over to a new brush because that one's getting a little bit on the furry side, and I'm using a clean little supply of thinners there. I'm not going to use the dirty stuff with the black in it. One of the things with these acrylics is try and get your consistency right. Don't do too thick or too thin, and don't have the brush loaded up with too much paint. You can always sort of create a little bit more, put a little bit more paint on if you're not happy with it. You're just following your guidelines at the moment. Now, if you're not happy with something and you've gone over the line, you can always just take a little scalpel or something and just try and scrape that paint away a bit. That's all it is. It's a very, very old scalpel. It's not even sharp anymore. I just hope my head isn't in the way. I need to create a different way of recording. This is all ad hoc with whatever I could cobble together just to make this first video. We're waiting for a new PC so we can edit properly. And that's a few days away there. So I'm using an old PC. I have got some editing software. It's very slow on this old machine. Now when you get down here underneath the dog, it's obviously going to be grey. It's not going to be as white as the rest, so you can put it on fairly thin. You can even grey your white out with a bit of black to get that different shade of white. You do need to keep going back to your picture because your guidelines won't be perfect, and you don't have to sort of stick to them rigidly. Just keep looking at your big picture, your guide picture. Mine's on the PC, and that gives you sort of the detail you want. And you just try and replicate what you're seeing. And as I say, the more you do, the better you get. Everything's it's the same with everything. Practice, practice. Right, so that's the white in. Cover your acrylics up when you're not using them because they dry out fairly quick. One of the main things on one of these dogs is try and get the eye to look real, and you don't need to do much because you're not going to paint the eye in, just you want an impression of an eye. At this scale, as I say, you're not going to see a great deal of detail. So we'll just show you how far we've got now. If we can just bring that up, I don't know whether you can see it or not. So we now want to work on the body and put some highlights on, bit of grey paint. And this is where it can get a little bit difficult because, as I say, it's very difficult to get that subtle change in the coat. So I'm just going to do underneath here first. I'll keep checking back at the picture. Oh, that's too light. See what I mean? It's quite difficult. Need more black in it. See what that's like. We're just putting a tiny bit of grey on now. Try and give it some sort of form. This is where we want this leg highlighting. You may not see it from a distance, but when you get close you'll see it. And then on the ribs here, give that a bit of a highlight. And here on the head. Paint's drying out quite quick. So that eye is quite prominent at the moment because it's not been painted in. You're just getting the colour of the horn through. And what I've seen in the past, if I can find something ideal, that one. You just touch it up with a little bit of brown. This is pretty old stuff now. Not too dark. Just to tone down that eye a little bit. These acrylics are different to the sort of thing you use for big picture painting. As I say, this is tough stuff. It dries very quickly, and it can be hard to get off, to tell you the truth. I've had to strip stuff off. Right, referring back to the picture. Again, refer to your picture. All is at the back, and then the canines at the front. And let me just put a bit more white on. Right, I'm going to pause the video now. I need to get this in some light that I can actually see what I'm doing and see how it's worked out. So we'll just pick this up for you, let you get another look at it. As I say, the light's not particularly good in here. So we're not quite finished yet because you want a bit of grass, or maybe you want a background, you know, a little bit of a sea, some hills, some trees, a bit of sky with some birds in it. You could go on and on and on, whatever takes your fancy. I think keeping it simple sometimes is probably the best thing. So we're just going to switch you off and then we'll come straight back. Right, we're back and you can see what's doing. This grey here on the back, this one's toning down a bit. I think that might do. I'm no artist, I say. I'm self-taught, so I don't call myself an artist. You just experiment and do what you can, and I say slowly you learn what you need to do. So we're going to put a bit of green in now, just along the bottom there. I'm going to see now whether this brush will give me thin enough. So we're going to now just flick up. We'll show you, because we're going to put a bit of yellow and a bit of white in here, creating pretend grass. And you just flick up. You can't really see it too well, I don't suppose, at this distance. We'll lift the stick up in a minute and pick a point, do a few upstrokes from there. And try and whiz your brush round so you get a nice point. Right, so we're going to clean that off now. So we've got white here ready. Now when you look at pictures of grass and meadow and whatever, there will be all sorts of colours in it, and they say it will be a combination of some whites, some yellows, there's all sorts. Maybe I should have put the white on first, put the green over it. We can do it again. And that's one of the things, if you want to paint, You need to study pictures of whatever interests you. I'd like to do some landscape, but I'm absolutely hopeless at it. Keep looking at it, but doesn't really seem to work for me. So now we've done the white, I'm going to put a bit of yellow in if I can find the yellow and it's still alright. This will just tone the white down a little bit. It isn't going on too well. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing. Oh, you just see the back of my head. I hope I combed my hair this morning. Right, so that's that. Now it's always nice to add a bit of colour to these sort of things. And I've got some red here, so we can pretend it's very gloopy red. It's thinning down an awful lot. Oops. See how thick it is. You just do a series of little red dots. What have you got? Some flowers or something growing in the meadow. You can put a bit of yellow in as well if you want. So hopefully in the future I'll get better organised and you won't be looking at the top of my head. We'll be able to look, film from the side. Right, okay. So the last thing you want to do, if you're happy with what you've done, is sign your work. It'd be nice if somebody in the future says, oh, look at that, I know exactly who painted that. Right, so I'll let you see what this looks like now. Here we go. Where are we? There we go. It's a bit restricted in here. Space. See a bit of red. I hope you can see a bit of red underneath there. We can take this outside. We'll take the camera outside. Well, it's a mobile actually, and you'll be able to see it in bright sunlight. Because for once we've got sunlight after all these miserable cloudy days and misty days. So bear with me. Well, I hope you can see that. I don't know whether the sun's too strong or not, whether you can even hear my voice. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. We're going to try and do many more videos. I say we had 1,000 subscribers when I lost all my videos off YouTube last time. So we've got loads of sticks to make, loads of ideas to put your way. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.